Everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. Have you ever been driving your car and suddenly realized you had left the emergency brake on? Did you push down harder on the gas to overcome the drag of the brake? No, of course not. You simply released the brake, and with no extra effort, you started to go faster. Most people drive through life with their psychological emergency brake on. They hold on to negative images about themselves or suffer the effects of powerful experiences they haven't yet released. They stay in a comfort zone entirely of their own making. They maintain inaccurate beliefs about reality or harbor guilt and self-doubt. And when they try to achieve their goals, these negative images and pre-programmed comfort zones always cancel out their good intentions, no matter how hard they try. Successful people, on the other hand, have discovered that instead of using increased willpower as the engine to power their success, it's simply easier to release the brakes by letting go of and replacing their limiting beliefs and changing their self-images. Get out of your comfort zone. Think of your comfort zone as a prison you live in, a largely self-created prison. It consists of the collection of can'ts, musts, must-nots, and other unfounded beliefs formed from all the negative thoughts and decisions you have accumulated and reinforced during your lifetime. Perhaps you've even been trained to limit yourself. Don't be as dumb as an elephant. A baby elephant is trained at birth to be confined to a very small space. Its trainer will tie its leg with a rope to a wooden post planted deep in the ground. This confines the baby elephant to an area determined by the length of the rope, the elephant's comfort zone. Though the baby elephant will initially try to break the rope is too strong, and so the baby elephant learns that it can't break the rope. It learns that it has to stay in the area defined by the length of the rope. When the elephant grows up into a 5-ton colossus that could easily break the same rope, it doesn't even try because it learned as a baby that it couldn't break the rope. In this way, the largest elephant can be confined by the puniest little rope. Perhaps this also describes you, still trapped in a comfort zone by something as puny and weak as the small rope and stake that controls the elephant, except your rope is made up of the limiting beliefs and images that you received and took on when you were young. If this describes you, the good news is that you can change your comfort zone. How? There are 3 different ways you can use affirmations and positive self-talk to affirm already having what you want, doing what you want, and being the way you want. You can create powerful and compelling new internal images of having, doing, and being what you want. You can simply change your behavior. All 3 of these approaches will shift you out of your old comfort zone. Stop recreating the same experience over and over. An important concept that successful people understand is that you are never stuck. You just keep recreating the same experience over and over by thinking the same thoughts, maintaining the same beliefs, speaking the same words, and doing the same things. Too often, we get stuck in an endless loop of reinforcing behavior, which keeps us stuck in a constant downward spiral. Our limiting thoughts create images in our mind, and those images govern our behavior, which in turn reinforces that limiting thought. Imagine thinking that you are going to forget your lines when you have to give a presentation at work. The thought stimulates a picture of you forgetting a key point. The image creates an experience of fear. The fear clouds your clear thinking, which makes you forget one of your key points, which reinforces your self-talk that you can't speak in front of groups. See, I knew I would forget what I was supposed to say. I can't speak in front of groups. As long as you keep complaining about your present circumstances, your mind will focus on it. By continually talking about, thinking about, and writing about the way things are, you are continually reinforcing those very same neural pathways in your brain that got you to where you are today. And you are continually sending out the same vibrations that will keep attracting the same people and circumstances that you have already created. To change this cycle, you must focus instead on thinking, talking, and writing about the reality you want to create. You must flood your unconscious with thoughts and images of this new reality. The significant problems we face cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. What's your financial temperature? Your comfort zone works the same way the thermostat in your home works. When the temperature in the room approaches the edge of the thermal range you have set, the thermostat sends an electrical signal to the furnace or the air conditioner to turn it on or off. As the temperature in the room begins to change, the electrical signals continue to respond to the changes and keep the temperature within the desired range. Similarly, you have an internal psychological thermostat that regulates your level of performance in the world. Instead of electrical signals, Your internal performance regulator uses discomfort signals to keep you within your comfort zone. As your behavior or performance begins to approach the edge of that zone, you begin to feel uncomfortable. If what you are experiencing is outside the self-image you unconsciously hold, your body will send signals of mental tension and physical discomfort to your system. To avoid the discomfort, you unconsciously pull yourself back into your comfort zone. My stepfather, who was a regional sales manager, noticed that each of his salespeople had a self-image of themselves as a salesperson. They were a $2,000 in a month salesperson or a $3,000 in a month salesperson. If a salesperson's self-image was that he earned $3 in a month in commissions, then whenever he earned that much in commissions in the first week of the month, he would slack off for the rest of the month. On the other hand, if it were near the end of the month and he had only earned $500 in commissions, he would put in 16-hour days, work weekends, create new sales proposals, and do everything possible to get to the $3,000 of level for that month. No matter what the circumstance, a person with a 36,000 self-image would always produce a 36,000 income. To do anything else would make them uncomfortable. I remember one year my stepfather was out selling cash registers on New Year's Eve. He was out well past midnight with the intention of selling 2 more cash registers so that he would qualify for the annual trip to award it to all salesmen who hit their yearly quota. He had earned the trip for several years running, and his self-image would not allow him to lose out that year. He sold those machines and made the trip. It would have been outside of his comfort zone to do anything less. Imagine the same scenario in relation to your savings account. Some people are comfortable as long as they have $2,000 in their savings account. Others are uncomfortable if they have any less than 8 months income, let's say $32,000 salted away. Still others are comfortable with no savings and credit card debt of $25,000. If the person needing $32,000 in savings to feel comfortable is hit with an unexpected medical expense of $16,000, he will curtail his spending, work overtime, have a garage sale, whatever it takes to get his savings back up to $32,000. Likewise, if he suddenly inherits money, he is likely to spend enough of it to stay in that $32,000 savings comfort zone. No doubt you have heard that most lottery winners lose, spend, squander, or give away all of their newfound money within a few years of winning it. In fact, 80% of lottery winners file bankruptcy within 5 years. The reason is because they failed to develop a millionaire mindset. As a result, they subconsciously recreate the reality that matches their previous mindset. They feel uncomfortable with so much money, so they find some way to get back to their old familiar comfort zone. We have a similar comfort zone for the kinds of restaurants we eat in, the hotels we stay in, the kind of car we drive, the houses we live in, the clothes we wear, the vacations we take, and the type of people we associate with. If you have ever walked down a high-end shopping street, you have probably experienced walking into a store and immediately feeling as if you didn't belong there. The store was just too upscale for you. You felt out of place. That's your comfort zone in operation. Change your behavior. When I first moved to a big city in 1981, my new boss took me shopping for clothes at a very upscale men's shop, which I had previously ever paid for a dress shirt was $35 at a department store. The cheapest shirt in this store was $95. I was stunned and broke out in a cold sweat. While my boss purchased many things that day, I bought one designer shirt for $95. I was so far out of my comfort zone, I could hardly breathe. The next week, I wore the shirt and was amazed by how much better it fit, how much better it felt, and how much better I looked wearing it. After a couple more weeks of wearing it once a week, I really fell in love with it. Within a month, I bought another one. Within a year, shirts like that were all I wore. Slowly, my comfort zone had changed because I'd gotten used to something better even though it cost more. When I was on the faculty of 2 organizations dedicated to teaching people how to become millionaires, all of the trainings were held at high-end luxury resort hotels. The reason was to get the participants used to being treated in a first-class way. It was part of stretching their comfort zones, changing the image of who they thought they were. Every training concluded with a black-tie dinner dance. For many of the participants, it was the first time they had ever attended a black-tie affair, another comfort zone stretch. Change yourself, talk with affirmations. I've always believed in magic. When I wasn't doing anything in this town, I'd go up every night, sit on a scenic drive, look out at the city, stretch out my arms, and say, everybody wants to work with me. I'm a really good actor. I have all kinds of great movie offers. I'd just repeat these things over and over, literally convincing myself that I had a couple of movies lined up. I'd drive down that hill ready to take the world on, going, movie offers are out there for me. I just don't hear them yet. It was like total affirmations, antidotes to the stuff that stems from my family background. One way to stretch your comfort zone is to bombard your subconscious mind with new thoughts and images of a big bank account, a trim and healthy body, exciting work, interesting friends, memorable vacations. Of all your goals is already complete. The technique you use to do this is called affirmations. An affirmation is a statement that describes a goal in its already completed state, such as, I am enjoying watching the sunset from the lanai of my beautiful beachfront condo on a tropical coast. Or, I am celebrating feeling light and alive at my perfect body weight of 135. They're the 9 guidelines for creating effective affirmations to be effective. Your affirmation should be constructed using the following 9 guidelines. Start with the words I am. The words I am are the 2 most powerful words in the language. The subconscious takes any sentence that starts with the words I am and interprets it as a command, a directive to make it happen. Use the present tense. Describe what you want as though you already have it, as though it is already accomplished. Wrong, I am going to get a new red sports car. Right? I am enjoying driving my new red sports car. State it in the positive. Affirm what you want, not what you don't want. State your affirmations in the positive. The unconscious does not hear the word no. This means that the statement, don't slam the door, is heard as slam the door. The unconscious thinks in pictures, and the words, don't slam the door, evoke a picture of slamming the door. The phrase, I am no longer afraid of flying, evokes an image of being afraid of flying, while the phrase, I am enjoying the thrill of flying, evokes an image of enjoyment. Wrong, I am no longer afraid of flying. Right, I am enjoying the thrill of flying. Keep it brief. Think of your affirmation as an advertising jingle. Act as if each word costs $1,000. It needs to be short enough and memorable enough to be easily remembered. Make it specific. Vague affirmations produce vague results. Wrong, I am driving my new red car. Right, I am driving my new red sports car. Include an action word ending with ing. The active verb adds power to the effect by evoking an image of doing it right now. Wrong, I express myself openly and honestly. Right, I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. Include at least one dynamic emotion or feeling word. Include the emotional state you would be feeling if you had already achieved the goal. Some commonly used words are enjoying, joyfully, happily celebrating, proudly, calmly, peacefully, delighted, enthusiastic, lovingly, secure, serenely, and triumphant. Wrong, I am maintaining my perfect body weight of 178 pounds. Right, I am feeling agile and great at 17AA. Note that the last one has the ring of an advertising jingle. The subconscious loves rhythm and rhymes. That's why we are able to more easily remember things such as sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And I before E except after C. And when sounded like as in neighbor and way, make affirmations for yourself, not others. When you are constructing your affirmations, make them describe your behavior, not the behavior of others. Wrong, I am watching a child clean up his room. Right, I am effectively communicating my needs and desires to a child. Add or something better. When you are affirming getting a specific situation, job opportunity, vacation, material, objects, house, car, boat, or relationship, a husband, wife, child, always add the words or something, someone better. Sometimes our criteria for what we want come from our ego or from our limited experience. Sometimes there is someone or something better that is available for us, so let your affirmations include this phrase when it is appropriate. Example, I am enjoying living in my beautiful beachfront villa on a tropical coast or somewhere better. A simple way to create affirmations, visualize what you would like to create. See things just as you would like them to be. Place yourself inside the picture and see things through your eyes. If you want a car, see the world from inside the car as you are driving it. Hear the sounds you would be hearing if you had already achieved your vision. Feel the feeling you want to feel when you have created what you want. Describe what you are experiencing in a brief statement, including what you are feeling. If necessary, edit your affirmation to make it meet all of the above guidelines. How to use affirmations and visualization. Review your affirmations 1 to 3 times a day. The best times are first thing in the morning, in the middle of the day to refocus yourself, and around bedtime, if appropriate, read each affirmation out loud. Close your eyes and visualize yourself as the affirmation describes. See it as if you were looking out at the scene from inside of yourself. In other words, don't see yourself standing out there in the scene. See the scene as if you were actually living it. Hear any sounds you might hear when you successfully achieve what your affirmation describes. The sound of the surf, the roar of the crowd, the playing of the national anthem. Include other important people in your life congratulating you and telling you how pleased they are with your success. Feel the feelings that you will feel when you achieve that success. The stronger the feelings, the more powerful the process. If you have difficulty creating the feelings, you can affirm, I am enjoying easily creating powerful feelings in my effective work with affirmations. Say your affirmation again, and then repeat this process with the next affirmation. Other ways to use affirmations: post 3s out of 5s of cards with your affirmations around your home. Hang pictures of the things you want around your house or your room. You can put a picture of yourself in the picture. Repeat your affirmations during wasted time, such as waiting in line, exercising, and driving. You can repeat them silently or out loud. Record your affirmations and listen to them while you work, drive, or fall asleep. You can use endless loop tapes, an MP3 player, or a music device. Have one of your parents record a tape of encouraging things you would like to have heard from them, or words of encouragement and permission you would currently like to hear. Repeat your affirmations in the first person, I am. Second person, saw, you are. And third person, hey, she is. Put your affirmations on your screensaver on your computer so you'll see them every time you use your computer. Affirmations work. I first learned about the power of affirmations when a mentor challenged me to set a goal so far beyond my current circumstances it would literally astound me if I achieved it. Though I thought the challenge had merit, I didn't really apply it to my life in a serious way until several years later, when I decided to make the jump from earning $25,000 a year to making $100,000 or more. The first thing I did was to craft an affirmation. My affirmation was, God is my infinite supply and large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under the grace of God for the highest good of all concerned. I am happily and easily earning, saving, and investing $100,000 a year. Next, I created a huge replica of a $100,000 bill, which I affixed to the ceiling above my bed. On awakening, I would see the bill, close my eyes, repeat my affirmation, and visualize what I would be enjoying if I were living a $100,000 a year lifestyle. I envisioned the house I would live in, the furnishings and artwork I would own, the car I would drive, and the vacations I would take. I also created the feelings I would experience once I had already attained that lifestyle. Soon I woke one morning with my first 100,000 idea. It occurred to me that if I could sell 400,000 copies of my book, on which I received a 20 feet per copy royalty, I would earn a 100,000 income. I added to my morning visualizations the image of my book flying off bookstore shelves and my publisher writing me a 100,000 check. Not long after, a freelance journalist approached me and wrote an article about my work for a publication. As a result, thousands of additional copies of my book were sold that month. Almost daily, more and more money-making ideas flowed into my mind. For instance, I took out small ads and sold the book on my own, making $3 per copy instead of just 25. I started a mail order catalog of other books on self-esteem and made even more money from these same buyers. A university saw my catalog and invited me to sell books at a weekend conference, helping me generate more than $2,000 in 2 days and introducing me to another strategy for making $100,000 a year. At the same time I was visualizing greater book sales, I also got the idea to generate more income from my workshops and seminars. When I asked a friend who did similar work how I could charge higher fees, he revealed he was already charging more than double what I was being paid. With his encouragement, I instantly tripled my rates and discovered the schools that were hiring me to speak had budgets even higher than that. My affirmation was paying off big time. But if I hadn't set the goal to make 100,000 and been diligent about affirming and visualizing it, I never would have raised my speaking fees, started a mail order bookstore, attended a major conference, or been interviewed for a major publication. As a result, my income that year skyrocketed from $20,000 to over $92,000. Of course, I missed my 100,000 goal by 8,000, but I can assure you I wasn't depressed about it. On the contrary, I was ecstatic. I had almost quadrupled my income in less than 1 year, using the power of visualization and affirmations coupled with the willingness to act when I had an inspired idea. After our 92,000 year, my wife asked me, if affirmations worked for 100,000, do you think they would also work for 1 million? Using affirmations and visualization, we went on to achieve that goal as well and have continued to make $1 million or more every year since.